Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by my poster. I wish I was there with you all. My name is Victor, and I'll be just sharing some ideas that somehow complement the poster that's probably next to you right now. So I'm currently an English language arts teacher at a bilingual school in the countryside of São Paulo, which is like the southeast of Brazil. And I had recently finished my PhD in linguistics. I did a lot of social linguistics research, trying to connect language and society. And one thing I've been trying to do in my classrooms, in my English classrooms, is to try to connect social linguistics, linguistic diversity, and the reality of my students. I mean, I am Brazilian, my students are Brazilian, and I want to show them that we are supposed to be intelligible when we are learning English and not necessarily speak like a native speaker. We have our identity when we speak, somehow our accent, our pronunciation, the words we choose, and I want to celebrate that with my students. And one thing I was trying to do as well is to connect environmental awareness and this linguistic diversity thing, because some studies show that somehow this is a thing that overlap. Biodiversity and linguistic diversity, usually they coexist in many places. And especially this happens a lot in the global south. So I thought maybe this is a good opportunity to bring those two things together and I don't know, maybe do some kind of research with my students. And that's what we did here. So the idea of this project, the project that is on the poster, was for students to research about young activists in the global south, especially in countries where English is an official language, but probably we don't hear a lot about that English variety. And some of my students, they chose very, very interesting activists. And here we have an art piece, a piece of art of one of my students, Paola. She chose a Kenyan activist, Elizabeth Watuti, as the main person for her research. And Elizabeth's work in Kenya is amazing. She's trying to protect forests, fight against deforestation. And when my student Paola saw that, she said, I want to work with her speech. So they had access to different speeches or texts activists were writing or producing. And so they were in contact with a different English variety. And at the same time, I asked students, we have to represent what they are fighting for, the way they live, the way they speak. Anyway, so you can choose a way to represent that. And most of them chose art. Some of them wrote essays, some of them wrote poems, but Paola, particularly, she created a very, very interesting piece of art, and that's the piece of art that's next to the poster as well. And I think this is a good project. It's a good activity for us to have with students, especially when we have young learners in the classroom, to show that, okay, we have a big diversity around the world, not only in terms of language, but also in terms of environment. And maybe thinking about language diversity is thinking about environmental diversity as well. So this is pretty much what we are looking here at the poster. We have some QR codes for some of the arts and texts the students have created. And I think that's pretty much all, but thank you so much for stopping by again. And I really, really hope you're enjoying the art pieces and texts my students produced. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you around one day. Who knows? Bye-bye.